Game ever.
November 6th, 2008.
Whoa!
TCU versus Utah.
Two nationally ranked teams.
This is definitely the game that changed my life.
Missed. Here he goes. On the slant. Touchdown, Utah.
One of the most memorable games I have ever attended.
This press box is shaking.
Big time highlight of 2008 season.
First down and 1.
Greatest home game in Rice Eccles Stadium history. With that game being played in November, both teams knew where they were in terms of the BCS.
They were both nationally ranked. Utah felt that this game was the game that they could turn the corner on and look to the future as an undefeated team.
TCU had a loss to Oklahoma early, but they won every game since then. They were perfect in conference play.
We knew that it was going to be the game that would either put us into that BCS running or would put them into it.
The newspapermen say this is the biggest game ever. Is that accurate?
For us fans, it didn't need to be hyped. We knew. They're ranked, we're ranked. We're up against each other. Mountain West, here we go.
I remember just thinking that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make a statement for Utah football and make sure that we finish the season out the right way.
This game's all about opportunity tonight. First, to solidify a bowl bid in the BCS games, and also to show this country just how good these teams are.
Besides the fact that you had two teams that were BCS contenders, Utah is having its first blackout game.
The black jersey idea came from the players.
Utah have been so strict over the years. We're wearing red.
There was a few guys who had always been pushing to wear black jerseys and kind of change it up.
I remember our seniors having a meeting with Dr. Hill before the season had started about potentially wanting the opportunity to wear black uniforms, and he let us do it.
I mean, it was like Christmas for us. You had kids, and you know what I'm saying, ripping open their jerseys and trying them on and taking pictures.
You come into the stadium and you're used to vibrant red all around, 360 degrees of red. Well, you are seeing nothing but black. Everyone is wearing black.
Once you went out to the stadium and it was full before kickoff and you see the entire stadium was lined in black, it was something that was really unique.
It sent a shiver up my spine going, oh my gosh, if I'm feeling like this, what is TCU gonna feel like when they come out?
In the pregame, a good friend of mine now, he was a starting middle linebacker for TCU, Robert Henson. He came out and he was like, no, I appreciate y'all wearing the black jerseys for us today. It's gonna be a good one.
TCU will kick off. Drew Combs will handle the honors for the Horned Frogs. And we're underway from Salt Lake City. From the 5. Straight ahead return out to the 26-yard line for David Reed. And that's where Utah will set up shop, led by senior quarterback Brian Johnson, the winningest quarterback in the history at the University of Utah with 22 victories under his belt. And his offensive line will be tested tonight as we take a look at the starters up front for the Utes, specifically Dustin Hensel, who is their right tackle. Hensel will be opposite Jerry Hughes for most of the night.
Yeah, he's an academic All-American. He's better have gone to school because Hughes puts a lot of pressure immediately. The advantage Hensel has is his size, 6'7", 307.
We'll see a couple different running backs today for Utah. They start on the ground, and they start with a 7-yard gain on first down. Stephen Hodge up to make the stop for TCU. Let's meet the starters on the defensive side of the ball for the Horned Frogs. We've told you about Jerry Hughes, pretty good bookend at the other side with Matt Panfill. It's a 4-2-5 defense. The two linebackers are very talented, Robert Henson and Jason Phillips, and great cornerbacks. Nick Sanders and Rafael Priest are both juniors. They're both 3-year starters. 2nd and 4 now for the Utes. Johnson has time over the middle, and the catch made for a first down. Freddie Brown hauls it in.
Big play converting on that 2nd down and 5. 2 good plays for the Utes. A solid misdirection run on first down, and then a fine catch over the middle by Freddie Brown.
Brown had a great game against New Mexico, a game where the Utah offense struggled to put points on the board, even though they moved the chains early and often. 5 wide. Underneath route. And a gain of 4 on first down. That time it's Braden Godfrey.
Now Godfrey's going to be an important part of this pass offense because of plays just like that, working over the middle. Pass protection's pretty good. Johnson steps up. It's a short gain, but it's a gain nonetheless, and that's the most important thing against a defense that is so good at turning the ball over.
We'll see if that TCU defense can get pressure on Brian Johnson. None just yet.
They lead the nation in sacking the quarterback with 38.
On the ground this time on the end around. Nowhere to go for Castillo. Maybe picks up a yard. A lot of different weapons on offense for Utah. A lot of different weapons on defense for TCU.
And that's the challenge tonight for Utah and any team that plays TCU is the overall team speed of the Horned Frogs. You're not going to make a lot of yardage going wide against this team. They're just too fast. They get off blocks too easily, and they chase down runners. Castillo's got great speed, but he got very little out of that play.
3rd and 5 now, empty set for Brian Johnson, the senior out of Baytown, Texas. They bring Darrell Mack back to the backfield. Almost intercepted off the hands of Robert Henson. He had 1 pick last week and another one that was waved off after a penalty.
He's frustrated because this ball hit him right in the midst. Here he is, number 51, as he drops back into coverage. That's Godfrey that Johnson's looking for. Well, also Henson was looking for him. Ball thrown poorly. If that ball is thrown better, maybe Henson makes the catch. He was all over Godfrey, Tom.
5 plays and done on that drive, and they bring in King Louis. Louis Sakota, one of the best in the business, will punt and handle the place kicking duties for Utah. He is nearly perfect with his placement. Fair catch asked for. Taken at the 15-yard line. Dalton, a redshirt sophomore out of Katy, Texas, has been on fire his last 3 games. 9 touchdowns, no picks. And he has grown up in a big way in this TCU offense. Across the line, Preston Phillips will get his 7th start of the season. He takes the place of Kyle Dooley at left guard. And we'll see a few different running backs today. We've already seen Justin Watts at fullback, Aaron Brown, and Ryan Christensen will also see action for the Horned Frogs. Dalton misfired on first down. Here it is, 2nd and 10, and they keep it on the ground on the end and round, but with Aaron Brown, and he takes it out to the 22-yard line. Smith with the stop for Utah. Defensively, here's how Utah lines up. Fantastic ends in Koa Misi and Paul Kruger. Linebackers are Sylvester Wright and Fotu. And we've already seen the physical play of cornerback Sean Smith. He stands 6'3", 214, former wide receiver.
And Smith will shadow Jimmy Young most of the evening, especially when he's to the short side of the field.
3rd and 4. Johnson went in motion. Dalton to throw that way. Good hands. First down and more. And all the way out. Still down the sideline and alive. And takes it inside the 30-yard line. Bart Johnson, the sophomore from Brownwood, just kept running.
Longest catch of his career. Got a little help from his wide receiver on the play. 44 yards all told. But watch from the right side of the field. He's going to get a little bit of a rub there on the defensive back. That's Terrell Cole. And then just an unexcusable mistake by McCain, not either pushing him out of bounds or tackling him. Here's the rub right there. That should have been called offensive pass interference. Utes get away with one.
Walter Bryant ran the pick. First chunk play of the night belongs to TCU. Out of the 2-back set, here's Brown towards the left side. And Brown bounces it outside. He's down to the 16-yard line. And likely a first down for TCU.
Boy, that speed is a big difference in this game so far right now. They're basically running the same type of plays, just a simple handoff to Brown, but with his speed, he bounces to the outside, makes a couple miss, and puts the ball all the way down to the 16-yard line. Similar type of offenses, both like to run the spread, both want to have the quarterback in the shotgun. TCU will use 2 tight ends more than the Utes will, though.
TCU second best in the conference in scoring inside the red zone. They were fantastic in the red zone against UNLV last week. 6 for 6 with 5 touchdowns. Brown found by Nai Fotu, sophomore from Hawaii.
Great timing by Fotu to get in there for this run blitz type of sack. Coming from the outside here. Watch as he jumps inside the tight end and uses his speed to bring Brown down. Big play for the Ute defense.
Dan, Aaron Brown is a great cutback runner. Not sure if that'll be there today against these 2 great defensive ends.
And active linebackers like Nai Fotu.
Brown motions out. Dalton wants to run the option. Everybody was moving earlier. First flag of the day.
Yeah, Shea Reagan, the tight end to the near side of the field, moved early. That's something that TCU does often.
Offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. Will still be 2.
Rich Colin, the official tonight, our white hat, and that's Shea Reagan.
A lot of penalties against the Frogs this year. As you can see, this is not where you want to be ranked in the top 2 in the country, but they're an aggressive team, and that's what sometimes happens. Brown's off to a great start. 3 carries, 17 yards, right about his average.
They'll respot the ball just inside the 20. Red zone defense for Utah has allowed 14 touchdowns and 4 field goals on the season. Dalton to throw again. Looks deep down the sideline. Almost intercepted. It was Sean Smith that time. And sometimes folks forget he's 6'3", tough to get it over the top.
Yeah, and that was a poor decision, something that Dalton had not been doing. This is not a receiver who's open by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, this ball is a dropped interception. As Jimmy Young struggling to get off the line of scrimmage, you just can't cover a receiver better than that. In fact, Young never even got up to make a play on the ball.
TCU head coach Gary Patterson took drastic measures to curb Dalton's interceptions last season. Said as soon as you pull a pick, we'll pull you. And that was the case towards the tail end of the year.
And that was a good decision, throwing that screen pass away. There were more Utes in that screen than there were Frogs.
So that's where the drive will stall for TCU.
TCU was loaded in 2008. First of all, they had Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, one of the great quarterbacks in the nation, not just one of the great quarterbacks at TCU. And Andy had great receivers, but one of their real secret weapons was in Ross Evans.
Ross Evans, 13 of 15 on the season. He's the only freshman semifinalist for the Lou Groza Award. And he fits it in to put TCU in front.
Square toes, what it's called, buddy. Yeah, that's
old school.
Yo, old school. Look, it's not even white. He's got a black square toe kicking shoe.
Houston,
he can get it down there, can he?
He's a first straight-on kicker at TCU since the mid-'80s. John Denton is now the radio analyst. I don't think he wears square toes anymore. From the 2. They fake the reverse for a second time. David Reed straight up the middle out to the 30-yard line and a 28-yard return for Reed. Went off to the SEC. Matt Asiata is in the game for Utah. Johnson to throw. Pressure. And tripped up. Thought he could get away. But just by a shoelace, he's dropped by Jason Phillips. Asiata carries some guys with him up to the 29-yard line.
The numbers that this defense has put up is just fantastic. I mean, 3.8 sacks per game. That's 38 on the season. So you see the play by the middle linebacker Phillips on the play previous. He's their #1 tackler coming in with 60. But they all have great speed. They all are very athletic. They don't stay on the ground long. They get after the ball carrier. And the numbers just continue to pile up.
Veteran coach Dick Bumpus is the defensive coordinator at TCU, works hand in hand with Gary Patterson on this 4-2-5 defense. 3rd and 11 now for Utah. Utah 0 for 1 in third down conversions thus far. They only bring 4, and Johnson gets it away but dropped.
When you think about TCU football, the first thing that comes to your mind is defense. And they've always been a great defensive team.
They were loaded. I mean, it wasn't just one guy. It was Their 11 guys on the field defensively, they were one of the top 5 defenses in the country that whole year.
You know, both teams, I think, were in the top 10 in total defense in the country at the time. So we knew, you know, it was going to be tough sledding trying to move the ball against them.
Louis Sakota, senior from San Jose, California, to punt it away. And Nick Sanders is back to return. TCU has had some return issues the last couple of games. TCU came after that one, nearly got it. This one will hop to the 30 and be down at the 28-yard line. A 42-yard punt from Louis Sakota, just a half-yard off of his average. Brown motions out of the backfield. That leaves Ryan Christian, and Dalton will take it himself. And Dalton dives out towards the 40-yard line. Gain of 11 on first down for a quarterback that runs very well.
This is the beauty of this offense. He's reading the defensive end. The defensive end crashes down. He pulls the ball back, takes off up the middle, and dives and picks up a first down. Right now, the Frog offense is dominating the Ute defense, doing just about everything they can. They've only had one negative play so far, and that was the offsides against Reagan.
Moved it into the red zone on their first drive, scored on their first drive. Brown changes direction. Here he goes. Aaron Brown past midfield. Aaron Brown finally forced out of bounds inside the 20. The second big play for the TCU offense tonight. That one goes for 41.
Made a great move on the free safety, Robert Johnson. Johnson crashing the line of scrimmage. Number 17, here he is right here. Watch this move that Brown puts on him as he goes right by, accelerates, and then down the sidelines. Super job of running him down for the Utes by Terrell Cole, but that was a big play by Brown.
And quickly back to action. Ryan Christian up to hash mark, takes it to the 16-yard line.
Big plays have been on the side of the Frogs so far tonight. The 52-yard reception by Bart Johnson rather. And then Brown is off to a fabulous start.
All under the direction of Andy Dalton. 70 yards on the ground now for TCU. A great rushing offense, even though they don't have any one superstar. That was Bart Johnson in motion. Dalton looks that direction. They set up that screen again, that pick, and it's incomplete off the numbers of Walter Bryant.
Well, that time Bart Johnson was the guy doing the picking, and he blocked the corner, but he blocked him before the ball was in the air, so it was a legal play. Watch number 6 come over here, trying to get the ball outside to Walter Bryant. Again, a drop pass there.
3rd and 6 now for TCU. On the season, they're 6th best in the country at 52%. Tonight, they're 1 for 2. Dalton over the middle. First down and more. Jimmy Young. Inside the 5, they'll mark it near the 2.
Great job by Jimmy Young, continuing on his route across the middle. You see him flash there. Again, traffic over the middle. Traffic that caused Sean Smith to drop his coverage on number 88. And 88 takes it down to the 3-yard line.
He leaves the game for the time being. 1st and goal now for TCU. Evan Frost, the tight end, is in on the left side. They go too tight this time. Quick snap. And no signal yet. Touchdown, TCU. Ryan Christian scores his 4th of the season.
When TCU came out and kind of punched Utah in the mouth to start the game, everybody wearing black, all the writers were thinking of our good funeral leads, wearing black to a funeral, and you know, it got ugly early.
TCU came out with a very high pace and a fast offense, and you know, our communication was a little off to begin with.
They got a field goal and a touchdown really quick. They're up 10-0. You thought, okay, their offense came to play. Can Utah hang in there and adjust?
Throughout the course of the season, our defense just built such a strong bond and unity that we just felt like nobody could really touch us. TCU was the first time when a team had driven down the whole field, and I remember feeling like, wow, a team just did that to us.
Once we were able to settle in and get the jitters, I guess you could say, out of our system, we played great defense the rest of the way.
Ross Evans on to attempt the extra point. The play is away. The touchdown will stand, and TCU now with a 10-0 lead. Reed from the 5. Through the wedge to the 25 before he dives forward out to the 29-yard line. Solid return for Utah. Darrell Mack flanks Brian Johnson working out of the shotgun. Johnson has it in his hands out to the 33, 32. Matt Panfill, senior from right there in Fort Worth out of North Crowley High School, had the stop.
You know, Tom, they tackled the guy that they faked the ball to, and they tackled Johnson as well. They're everywhere.
Mack gets a breather. And they bring Colt Sampson, the tight end, into the backfield. Plenty of motion for Utah. This one all Asiata, who is in there on the direct snap. Matt Asiata saw his season end before it really began last year. Broken leg in the opener against Oregon State.
Well, this is the Asiata formation. A lot of teams call it the Wildcat or the Wild Hog. TCU has it. They call it the Wild Frog. But that time it was a fine play by Darrell Washington, who made that tackle.
3rd and 6 now for the Utes. Johnson in the air. First down. Out to the 45-yard line. And that was Freddie Brown with his second grab of the night. Henson had the tackle.
And the crowd cheers the first 3rd down conversion in 3 tries for the Utes tonight. But Brown's got the big body, 6'4", 215. And the good thing about that play was the throw right to the chest of Brown, where he didn't have to reach for it. All he had to do was make the catch. He had the first down with the catch.
It's pretty simple when we ask Brian Johnson what he likes about Freddie Brown. No drops this season.
That'll do.
Johnson again to the air. Was the foot down? They say yes. And Brent Castile has a first down. T.J. Johnson on the cover.
Well, this one will be worth looking at. Castile appeared to get his left foot down before his right foot hit out of bounds. Check it out. Left foot down, but was that heel on the line? Everybody wearing black on the sideline said, no, this is a good catch. And indeed it was.
And so Castile gets a break. Tremendous body control for the first down, and the Utes marching here on their 3rd possession. On the ground, this is Wise to the 32-yard line. First carry tonight for Eddie Wide, pardon me, the sophomore from Vegas.
Probably the biggest difference between these two teams is in their running backs. Mack, Asiata, and Wide are really your power runners. They don't have the breakaway speed or the great moves. They move the ball. But as we've seen with Aaron Brown, he's got that breakaway speed.
He's already shown it tonight. 2nd and 5 for Utah. Up the middle, nothing doing. Robert Henson filled that hole quickly.
Well, Henson fills a lot of holes. Second leading tackler behind middle linebacker Jason Phillips, 51 there. That's his 58th tackle of the season. Boy, he read that so quickly. It's a draw play, and coming as fast as the running back was Henson for no gain.
Henson had 2.5 tackles for a loss last week against UNLV. A couple weeks ago against Wyoming, he knocked out the starting and the backup quarterback.
That's not nice.
3rd down. Johnson pressured, incomplete, took a shot.
We had some opportunities that we didn't quite take advantage of in the first half, you know, due to our lack of execution into what they were doing on defense. So it was just a battle, and we knew that we had to make the most of our opportunities.
You don't want to get tight and press. Just re-emphasize to them that, hey, the same things are the things that have gotten you to this point. You know, the way you've been playing, the way you've been executing, this game's no different. Just continue doing the same things you've been doing all season long.
Louis Sakota has a season-long 53-yarder to his name. This will be a 49-yard attempt
Louis Dakota, incredible. I don't know how many times he pulled it out and did that kick, did that whatever at the end of games, mid-games. Bad weather, good weather, didn't matter. He was solid all the time.
If anyone can do it, he can. They call him King Louis for a reason. And Utah is on the board. Not very often that your kicker is the big man on campus, but that's the case here in Salt Lake City.
And that was a huge 3 points for the Utes to get on the scoreboard and to stay close to the guys in purple. $10 yards a play against a pretty good Utah defense.
Two tight ends here. Play action. Dalton off his back foot, incomplete. Dalton looks back the other way. They try to set up the screen. Joe Dale is there to stop it. Curtis Clay had the grab for the Horned Frogs.
Big defensive series for the Utes, no question about that. Cannot allow a touchdown here by TCU.
Ross Evans has already kicked one field goal.
Boy, they've been good on third down conversions, haven't they, Tom? 4 out of 5 so far.
Utah's defense have been so solid all year. They just had not given up big plays. So you thought, okay, what's going on here? Is this going to be a boat race for Utah? Not only loses tonight, but loses big.
Dalton to throw again on third. Pressure coming. They throw him down, and that is out of field goal range.
Well, that's the key thing there. That is a huge loss. Dalton taking the sack, did not see the blitz coming. Utah lined up with a 3-man rush and then brought the safeties 14 yards on this sack.
Well, they gathered themselves and they figured some things out, and it really settled down into what we thought it was going to be, which was a low-scoring defensive game.
Utah had stopped the momentum of TCU because all 10 points have been scored in the first quarter.
And so Anson Kelton will punt it away.
And they want Castile back deep to get his great abilities with the ball in his hands.
High kick from Kelton. Castile waves him off. That'll be down inside the 10 at the 9-yard line.
Things sort of settled down as they got toward the half. The problem was Utah was having trouble putting points on the board.
Matt Asiata is the running back for Utah. They show blitz. This ball belongs to Brian Johnson, and Johnson takes a look at the 14-yard line by Stephen Hodge. Fourth drive of the game for the Utes. First possession, first 2 ended in punts. And then a Louis Dakota field goal got him on the board after an 8-play, 40-yard drive. And don't forget, there's a lot on the line tonight. Both teams undefeated in Mountain West Conference play, but bigger fish to fry as they each eye a berth in a BCS Bowl. Johnson to throw on 2nd and 6. Now he'll run. Try to shake a man, and he's brought down. And that will leave 3rd down again. Darrell Washington, the junior from Irving, found him.
Not a bad backup linebacker. He backs up Robert Henson and makes a lot of tackles. He's called his name a couple of times already in this first half. But when you're out there one-on-one with an athlete like Brian Johnson, that's a heck of a play by Washington.
So 3rd and 3 for Utah, which is converted just once in 4 attempts on 3rd down. Johnson over the middle. First down. Braden Godfrey. Henson had the stop.
You know, next time they are faced with a 3rd and 3 like that, and if TCU rushes the passer with 4 men, look at the hole in the middle of this defense for Johnson to run. He could have picked it up easily. Also had a receiver who was open. Again, it's Godfrey working over the middle, but don't be surprised if the Utes don't come back with a quarterback draw the next 3rd and short.
Castile in the slot will go in motion. Here's the option. Wide. stayed on his feet long enough to get tackled by Jason Phillips. Only a couple of yards that time for Eddie Wide.
Well, the Frogs just react so quickly. I know that sounds weird that you ever seen a frog react, but that time Nick Sanders, as soon as that pitch was made, it looked like there was a lot of running room. But Sanders came up quickly and made the tackle there.
Second and 8. Here's the backup quarterback, Corbin Loucks. He's got wheels, but he fumbles the football. Loucks got it back.
Yep, he did. Looked like it was ripped away as he was just about picking his way through the middle of the TCU defense. First carry of the game for Loucks. Let's see who knocks it away. Yeah, right hand there. That's again Darrell Washington. Or was that Robert Henson? 51, not 41. Yeah. Big right hand ripped that ball loose.
3rd and 7 coming up. We'll see more of Corbin Loucks later in the game. Fantastic talent for Utah.
Or we may not.
True. Play clock at 2 and they get it off. Johnson wants to go deep. Man coverage on the outside. Incomplete. The coverage by Rafael Priest. He was looking for David Reed.
Out of bumping and grinding on that fly pattern by David Reed. Good coverage there as well. Watch the contact here right there. That could have been called on Priest as he certainly impeded the progress of Reed. That ball wasn't all that far overthrown, but again, a break goes Purple way.
Priest cagey enough to get away with it. His 37th straight start tonight. Nick Sanders back to return. Sakota got it off just in front of a pair of Frogs, and Sanders takes a fair catch.
Derek Shelby a blow at that nose tackle spot there, but he fights off the block right up front by the center, Blake Schluter. And this is where Utah's got to make a statement in this ball game. Both teams start to be settling down on defense. Offensively, both teams struggling.
Loud crowd breathing down Andy Dalton's back. Dalton, pressure, throws it away.
Utah fans calling for a safety on a intentional grounding, but he threw the ball past the line of scrimmage. He was out of the tackle box, heads up play, and what strength he shows pulling away right here from Kruger to get that ball out of bounds and incomplete.
Offensive coordinator Mike Schultz told his team, we're going to have our heels on our goal line once or twice, but they thought that the play at Oklahoma in front of a big-time crowd would benefit them here tonight. Dalton uses the timeout. Can't afford a mistake here, and the play clock was running out on him. Dalton uncorks one down the sideline. Knocked away, incomplete. It was one-on-one. Number 1 Walter Bryant against number 1 Bryce McCain, and it was McCain with the stop and Kruger with the pressure.
How about the defense that Gary Anderson called on this play? 2-man rush, 9 dropping, and fine coverage outside by McCain. McCain had a tough day on Tuesday, but not tonight.
Anson Kelton as close to the stands as he is the goal line. Good looking spiral. Castile from the 43. Takes it straight up the middle. Submarine at the 45-yard line. Brian Johnson, 7 of 11 tonight for 62 yards. Directing the spread attack for Utah. Asiata is his running back. Plenty of time. Plenty of arm. Incomplete. Coverage by Priest. Looking for David Reed.
You're not going to cover a wide receiver any better than Rafael Priest does on this play. He's done it a couple times already tonight. He was not fooled at all That is great coverage because he's looking for the ball while the contact is made, and the contact is initiated by Reed.
Brian Johnson on the sideline now as they mix it up, and it's Asiata taking the direct snap. Asiata straight up the middle. Gary Patterson said, we're just going to load him up, dare him to pass.
Utah's having trouble blocking the linebackers and the safeties. The backs are getting through the line of scrimmage, that initial line of defense, but it's the linebackers. Check out Jason Phillips, 39, as he fights off a block and gets in on the tackle with a couple of other linebackers, Henson among others.
Utah's 2 of 7 on 3rd down tonight. One concern with running that formation is that you break the routine that your quarterback is in. See if Johnson can come off the sideline and make a play here on 3rd down. Try and make a play with his legs. Makes a man miss. He'll be short of the 1st down, and he took a shot from Robert Henson. Henson helps him up.
And Tom, now the question is, do you go for it or do you bring out Zakota for a long field goal? It looks like the decision is made by Kyle Whittingham, bringing out tight ends. That looks like Colt Sampson among others.
It'd be about a 53-yard attempt.
There's absolutely no wind tonight, so that's not a factor.
Dakota's long this season is 53.
Well, the Utes have been good on 4th down this season. 8 of 11 they've converted.
Johnson keeps it. Doesn't get it. Big stop by Jason Phillips.
Let's check out the leading tackler for TCU as Whittingham can't believe this play. Watch the middle linebacker. A lot of misdirection. He's not fooled at all by the fake here to Asiata. And he finds a way of bringing down the quarterback about a yard short of the 1st down.
Big play by Jason Phillips. If there's a scar on his nose, you can blame the media relations department. When he was posing for pictures for the media guide earlier this season, the photographer said, look mean. I said, that's great, but we'd like some blood. He said, I can do that. Went to the training room, came back with a cut on his nose.
And he was a former quarterback in high school.
Meanest looking quarterback in the building, 2nd meanest looking quarterback in the building tonight. Eliapo with the stop that time. He sniffed out Ryan Christian. So a minute 50 to go and counting. Andy Dalton through the air thus far tonight, just 5 of 15, but a lot of the negative plays have been TCU mistakes.
Yeah, the offsides, delay a game. They've got 2 timeouts, but it looks like they're in no hurry to use them or to move the ball down the field on 2nd and 10.
I don't know if I'd be in a hurry as well. I think a 7-point lead at the half looks pretty good. Dalton. Knocked away. Coverage that time by Joe Dale. He was trying to find Aaron Brown out of the backfield. Greg Newman made Dalton throw off his back foot.
Yeah, and that ball was it just hung in the air too long. You throw that corner out, you want to lead the receiver low and to the outside. That ball hung up there for Dale to come over and make a fine play. Watch the pressure. That may be the reason the ball hung in the air. You can see Brown had to almost stop. Dalton, just 1 of his last 6 passes.
They converted 4 of their 8 3rd down attempts. Dalton on the draw with the lead blocker out there. Dalton finds the midfield stripe. That's good for a 1st down. Stevenson Sylvester finally brought him down.
Great block by Justin Watts in the secondary. You don't see that very often. He just got in the way of one of the tacklers, and at the end of the play, check out number 32. He goes out of the picture, but he's leading Dalton down the field. There's his block. That got the 1st down and 5 extra yards.
Under a minute to go in the 1st half from Salt Lake City. Dalton pressured again, goes down again. Messi met up with Newman, and they both bring him down. Brown joins him in the backfield, 2nd and 17. Dalton had to pump. pull it in. Now Brown out of bounds. Stop the clock with 40 seconds left and 3rd and long coming up. Utah with those timeouts and the clock stop will have an opportunity likely to get the ball back and make something happen.
We just had a really explosive defense. We had guys at every position that could make plays. And, you know, I can't remember a game where we didn't really control the game.
Dalton ran for a 1st down on their last 3rd and long.
3-man line for the Utes.
I remember rushing the passer, and he got rid of it pretty quick, but it was kind of a high-flying, you know, like a fade type pass.
Pressure on Dalton, smoked as he threw, intercepted.
I saw Sean running towards the receiver, came up, jumped and got it, and started running, and I was just doing my best to get a good block.
And Smith down the sideline, has blockers in front.
You can kind of hear it when the ball's in there because everybody gets real quiet, and then you just know, okay, the ball is coming your way. His eyes get real big, and all you hear is you guys' feet running, and I just remember turning around and going up for it, and, you know, seeing my teammates get a couple of good blocks, and then I'm running for a little bit.
Sean Smith across midfield, and finally wrestled to the ground by Walter Bryant.
Sean Smith transferred from offense, played offense through his entire career, changed to a corner, became one of the great corners, got drafted in the NFL because of it, and one of his biggest interceptions was off Andy Dalton to stop their drive and to give Utah a chance to get Louis Sakota's foot into the ballgame.
He had an interception return for a touchdown earlier, and that's what he was thinking about after he picked off Andy Dalton. This time, 4th pick of the year for the 6'3" cornerback.
It's a huge turning point in that game. We were able to kind of drive it down, get a couple quick passes in.
Brian Johnson takes a moment to chat with his coaches on the sideline, and his counterpart Andy Dalton, bit of a limp to him as he works the sideline. 1st pick in the last 109 attempts for Andy Dalton.
And 5 interceptions against Utah in the last 2 games.
It's been relatively mistake-free night for Brian Johnson. The senior leader for Utah was noted by each and every person we talked to within the program this week as the reason this team is undefeated. He backed up Alex Smith on that Fiesta Bowl team and actually got a few snaps in that game against Pittsburgh. That is 5th year in the program. Utah's got a couple of timeouts remaining. Over the middle, Godfrey makes his man miss. His knee was down. That'll be just short of the 1st down, which
only one other college football game going on. Sakota is in range right now if Utah doesn't gain another yard.
Five wide for Utah. Johnson. Ball bobbled but hauled in for a 1st down and down to the 20. 7 ticks left. Godfrey. Do they have time for another play before bringing Sakota out?
I don't think so. I think with this type of offense, it's a very slow developing passing game, but right now they're going to save the timeout and spike the ball.
The chance to discuss it with a timeout remaining for Utah. Clock ran on that play down to 4 seconds. 4.6 is what it reads on the scoreboard clock.
That was the slowest spike of all time because that was a 1st down. And here comes Sakota.
Watch the clock. Well, that's a mistake.
And this is a home team clock operator.
Louis Sakota came to campus as a walk-on. Here in that scholarship, he said earlier this year, every day it's fun to wake up. When you're this good, it certainly is. Sakota gets another to count for all 6 points for Utah here in the 1st half.
After being down 10-0 to get that field goal before the half, that was a momentum changer, huge for the Utes.
As a broadcaster, I'm always optimistic, and particularly when the score is 10-6 at halftime. That's only a 4-point spread. And Utah had not really got untracked as yet.
You know, the thought for Utah fans probably at the half was, are these guys going to score any points tonight? Because, you know, a couple of field goals isn't going to get it done.
10-6, not even a problem. We can get this done.
TCU owns the only touchdown tonight, a Ryan Christian 1-yard plunge.
Good. Utah's going to have a hard time getting points. It felt like the defense settled down from that rough first quarter. They were playing well.
For us, you know, we knew we had an opportunity to win this game, and it was an electric atmosphere, and we wanted to make sure that we came out and executed at a high level in the second half.
They bring Aaron Brown to the backfield. Brown has the ball. Past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Bryce McCain came in. He had the pick in the first half. A 3-year starter for this Utah defense.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of Brown. In the first half, he was dynamite. Carried the ball 4 times for 58 yards. That was just his 5th carry of the evening.
On the option, Dalton keeps, cuts to the 30 for a first down. Koamisi tripped him up.
Really good decision on the option play by Dalton, and then good strength to pull away from this tackle and get enough for the first down. He comes down the line of scrimmage after the fake on the end around, but there's the hole. And good blocking out in front. Give Shea Reagan a lot of credit for keeping the safety away from his quarterback.
Shea Reagan has a name called in all the wrong ways tonight. A couple of false starts. And another flag.
Well, they're trying to beat Utah to the punch here by going on a quick count, and they're just catching their own team off sides. False starting.
False start. Offense. Number 70. 5-yard penalty, down, still 1.
Big Marshall Newhouse. He can't hide when he jumps off sides. 6'3", 317 pounds.
Not the number that they wanted to hit today. Out of the I formation this time. Brown bottled up, tried to bounce, finds some yardage, some hidden yardage, and takes it out to the 31-yard line. Kepa Geisen had the stop.
All great running backs have vision. You know, they have to have all that good moves and speed and strength and everything, but if they don't see it, they're not going to get it. That was a great job of Brown being patient, waiting for that hole to open, and then picking up some good yardage.
Rare I formation look for TCU on that play. 2nd and 9. Dalton pulls it back down the sideline for Christian, cuts it inside and stays on his feet to the 35 and finally dances out of bounds. McCain brought him out, but it's another big gain for Ryan Christian.
Well, in the first half, he caught one similar to that play for 24 yards. This one goes for 33. Play fake there, and then wide open on the wheel route again out of the backfield, making Bryce McCain miss and picking up extra yardage.
McCain finally caught up to him to take him out of bounds.
They're starting the second halftime as they started the game. Big plays.
143 yards through the air for Dalton. Empty backfield. Here comes the blitz. Fires one complete to Christian again. In a 4.5. Stevenson Sylvester, the linebacker, had the stop.
Boy, that offensive line just, they saw that blitz coming too. Tom, watch the time and the throwing lane. That's just perfect. The blitz came from Dalton's left side, and he was thrown to the right side and had a lane to throw to and a wide open receiver.
Paul Kruger, 6.5 sacks on the season for Utah. Koamisi at the other side has a few sacks to his name. Brown up the middle. Into Sylvester. A couple of yards on, a few yards on 2nd and 5. Only 3rd and 3 now for TCU.
And that's really a perfect down for this style of offense. A lot of options. Mike Schultz calling the plays Frogs offensive coordinator met with last night. He's excited about their season that they've had. He feels they've got a recipe. They know how to win these games. They know and have great confidence in their offensive plan.
Dalton directing traffic. Sends Bryant to the left side of the formation. And a whistle again, and 2 men move.
Timeout.
Nope, timeout, pardon me.
TCU. First charge timeout of the second half.
Watson, Brown are the running backs. There goes Aaron Brown. Comes back. Brown trying to stretch it. Tries to cut, and he powers his way to a first down. Terrell Cole had the stop, but Brown shoved his way for an extra 2 yards.
6'1", 196 pounds. Great leg drive here. 23 coming. He's got the Justin Watts out in front, but this is effort right here. He was stopped 2 yards shy of the first down marker and ended up a yard beyond it. Great effort by Aaron Brown.
Carried Robert Johnson with them. Brown on the sideline now. Looked like a contacts issue. Johnson in motion. Christian slips. Still finds his way for positive yardage. Koamisi with the stop. Christian looked like a crazy ballet dancer that time. He was spinning every which way after his footing gave way. He has the game's lone touchdown. And we're still not sure he got in from 1 yard out in the first quarter. Dalton had a man covered. Everybody's covered. Now Walter Bryant wide open. And he's out of bounds inside the 5. Incomplete. Walter Bryant respectfully disagrees.
Well, remember this play. This should have been a touchdown. Dalton breaks the pocket, and the Utes drop coverage on Walter Bryant. Ball thrown to the outside, where this is a walk-in touchdown for TCU. Yep, that right foot came right down on the out-of-bounds marker. But look, Johnson came up when Dalton broke the pocket, and Bryant can't stay in bounds and can't get in the end zone.
Instead of 1st and goal, it's 3rd and 9. They get it off. Dalton. Pressure.
They're driving down to score. Coach Witt called a blitz, and our middle backer, Stevenson Sylvester, he blitzed through the B gap on my side. I was on the right side, and he chased the quarterback out to me.
Again thrown for a loss on 3rd down and out of field goal range, and again it's number 11, Paul Kruger.
I remember seeing my family up in the crowd, and you know, I'm from Utah, so a lot of those fans and people I know are there, and you really want to do something special for the people that you care about, people you're around all the time. So, you know, I wanted us to leave a legacy that year.
3rd sack of the day for the Utes. And instead of a field goal attempt for the 2nd time on the same end of the field, Andy Dalton takes a sack, and they'll have to punt it away. Castile lets it go over his head. And they'll stop it at the 12.
They're a very good defense. They don't give up much, but Utah have been able to control time, control clock, to run the ball on pretty much everyone that year. They couldn't do it against TCU.
The week before, Utah, 5 days before actually, Utah struggled to put points on the board at New Mexico. And so the offense was kind of in a rut.
Flags.
Another false start on the offense.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Number 68. 5-yard penalty. Down is still 1.
TCU's been flagged 7 times tonight, but that's the first time Utah has been flagged, and it comes with 8:50 to go in the 3rd.
And the tough thing about that, Tom, is that you're on your own end. You're backed up. You're trying to get some momentum going. You just complete a pass to get you away from your goal line, and now you back it up 5 yards. Big penalty as far as momentum's concerned.
Pressure on Johnson, and he goes down. Cody Moore found him that time.
Cody Moore working alongside of Jerry Hughes. Hughes has 14 sacks on the year. That's 6 now for Cody Moore, which is a big number for a nose tackle. Check out number 56 here as he comes from the left side and brings down a very elusive quarterback in Brian Johnson. So again, 2 negative plays in a row for the Utes as they're backing up.
We struggled a little bit in the third quarter of that football game. It was 2nd and 21. And, you know, we threw what we called a swamp route. We ran a little corner post with Brent Castile.
Brian Johnson goes deep over the middle. Good hands. First down, Utah.
Underthrew it just a little bit. If I'd have had it a little higher, he probably would have scored a touchdown, about a 65 or 70-yard touchdown. And, you know, we ended up converting first down, but he had to make a diving catch. But we had the guy beat, double moved him, just how we drew it up, and just didn't execute the throw properly. But that was one of the moments that kind of stuck out for me in that game as a frustrating moment of not.
Castile back in action this season, missed most of last year with a knee injury. He said it was good for me. I used that time off to study film on everybody, including myself. And now here is Asiata. And Asiata takes it on the direct snap before Stephen Coleman brings him down.
And he laid it to Stephen Coleman pretty good that time. I think Coleman might have thought that was Brian Johnson with the ball in his hand. No, that was a running back, 230-pound Matt Asiata, lowering his shoulder and driving Stephen Coleman back. Check out this contact.
Similar numbers, but there's a big difference when it's number 3 coming at you instead of number 4.
You think? I know Coleman thinks so now.
The option. Needing 4 for the first down. Good speed again by TCU. They've really disrupted the game plan in that regard, Dan, using that speed to track down guys on the edge. At some point, do you shelve the option, or does it still serve a purpose?
Well, if they're able to string it out as the TCU did that time, it's going to be very difficult for Utah to get yardage wide. So maybe a misdirection option where you don't have 3 guys that you're trying to outrun to the corner. Johnson's got the hot hand, 7 of his last 8 for 73 yards, but remember that quarterback draw, 3rd and short.
Corbin Laux. Pardon me, that's Asiata. Now he wants to throw the ball. And incomplete. Going over the top. Gary Patterson said we would dare them to throw the football.
We knew going into it, it would be a very tough matchup offensively. And, you know, we just didn't convert a couple of 3rd downs. We had some opportunities on some 3rd and shorts that we didn't convert that really kind of made us stall those offensive drives.
So Louis Sakota on. Right away, 4th and short. Sakota 3 for 3 throwing the ball in his career on fake punts. Boots it away. Curley asks for the fair catch, takes it at the 14-yard line.
Although he's always been one of the younger guys, whatever he does, he came here on his recruiting trip when he was 16 years old. He's always been a leader. He's been a student of the game, and he's a calm, cool guy.
He had a chance to learn from Alex Smith, one of the best that's ever been at Utah, one of the best college players ever. And he had a chance also to work with Urban Meyer for a year and get a sense of his feel for offense and watching film and preparation. So Brian really had a great launching point his first year.
Asiata in the backfield. Johnson fires on first down. There's big number 88 again, Freddie Brown, and he gets a couple of extra yards for another Utah first down.
He was a clutch player. He's able to elevate his game. He also made everybody else around him better, and that to me is the mark of a true leader and a true great player.
Quick delivery by Johnson. How about this catch? 4th of the night for 48 yards. Big first down for the Utes.
And how about Freddie Brown as a go-to guy? for Brian Johnson. Johnson will keep this. Pardon me, that's Asiata in on the direct snap, and he maybe found a yard. The interesting thing they do with Matt Asiata, when he comes in, essentially at the quarterback spot, they also have Braden Godfrey with a wristband in. You see Asiata doesn't have a wristband with the plays on it. They said, we use Godfrey. The wide receiver has his own wristband. He actually acts as the quarterback in the huddle and calls the play, and then Asiata lines up behind center.
Yeah, you don't want your running back having a wristband on his wrist. Those linebackers are smart, might rip it off and try to read it.
Tough to read when you can't focus, huh? Take a couple of shots. Comes Foggy. Johnson steps up, fires another strike there off of Brown, and Brown has another first down. Jason Phillips takes him out at the 48.5.
Well, that's where your money is right now for the Utes and Brian Johnson. Freddie Brown's having his way on the outside there, either a slant route or the comeback route, and then the ability after the catch to break tackles and get some hidden yardage out of the play. Great route. Turned a very good corner, and Nick Sanders around.
Brian Johnson thought this Utah offense could pull off some chunk plays tonight. Coming into the action, haven't seen too many of them. Johnson took a shot. Godfrey had to grab Henson, brought him down.
You know, one guy we haven't called his name is Jerry Hughes, the defensive end out here. He's going to get close this time, working against Dustin Hensel. Hensel with long arms gets off balance here, but Johnson, he knows where number 98 is. He knows he's got to get rid of that ball fast, or this guy's going to get him. No sacks so far tonight for Jerry Hughes.
He made an immediate impact in the BYU win. Sacked Max Hall 4 times, forced a couple of fumbles. Johnson incomplete. Max Hall said this week down the road in Provo, here's a flag coming in, that he would rather be watching Dwight Schrute tonight than watching the Utes. So I think now that the office is over, he's probably tuned in.
I put the office on my TiVo, but that's Robert Henson. He's not going to watch this one in replay.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 51. Spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Henson plays this game with a certain amount of rage. He said the 3 hours he has to play college football are his release from a troubled childhood, one in which an early morning fire when he was 10 years old cost the life of his brother, then his sister. By the way, he brought his mother and his sister out of the burning household. Then his redshirt freshman year, his sister Tiffany was assaulted, shot 9 times, left for dead. He said football is his release, and he's learned after all that, dealing with the grief of losing his brother Nicholas, that he can't control everything. Can't control anything in life, but he can control what happens on the football field. And he brings so much enthusiasm to this TCU defense on that flag, it got the better of him.
Well, he's one of the 7 seniors that start for Dick Bumpus and his defense. You see, he's checking the call. Second leading tackler, heck of a ball player.
Johnson against the blitz, gets it away. Braden Godfrey brought down by T.J. Johnson.
Really a fine job again by Johnson. You know, talking to Andy Ludwig, he says that Brian Johnson is the smartest quarterback he has ever worked with. And Andy Ludwig has worked with a number of quarterbacks and a number of very good quarterbacks. Smart throw here out to Godfrey, sets up a 3rd down and short.
A fiery Gary Patterson didn't like the play of T.J. Johnson that time. It brings a 3rd and short now, and it also brings an end to the 3rd quarter.
Be.
10-3 after 1 quarter, just 3-point field goal by Sakota at the end of the first half, and it's been goose egg since.
2008 looked like it was going to be a special year for the Utes. You had a team that really rebounded well from a tough start to the 07 season, went to bowl game, won.
Brian Johnson was hurt in 2007 and really hadn't come around completely. We didn't get to see the complete Brian Johnson at quarterback until 2008.
He had Brian Johnson back at 100%, the quarterback. He had Matt Asiata back at running back, the defense under Kyle Whittingham in his fourth year really coming together personnel-wise.
They opened the season with Michigan, were able to get on the national stage early with a victory there.
That team really had no weakness. I mean, it was strong from top to bottom, had great leadership and great work ethic.
One of the key ingredients that made that team so special was we had been together for an extremely long time. We had a very veteran senior class that had played a lot and who had been through a ton of adversity together.
Every team meeting we'd go into, like after the game or even before the game, we had a list of goals, and our top goal was to go undefeated. It was constantly on our minds every week.
Going wide for TCU, Aaron Brown in the backfield. Here he goes, hurdles a man to the 50. Gain of 6. Both teams led by their quarterbacks. The growth of Andy Dalton credited with TCU's 9-1 start. The leadership of Brian Johnson, the winningest quarterback in Utah history.
Dalton getting a lot of help from Aaron Brown, just 3 yards shy of 100 on the evening on 12 carries.
Got a push head to head. Looking for Christian. Incomplete coverage by Sean Smith.
Oh, great break on the ball by Smith. He came close to picking this one off, and if he does, it's 6 points down the sidelines. As it was, check out the reaction here by number 4 as he ensures the tackle with the left hand on the back and swats the ball away with his right hand.
TCU 7 of 15 on 3rd down. Dalton has run for a couple of them. It's a blackout here tonight at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Dalton, quick shot, first down for Young. And Jimmy Young takes it down to the 35. Terrell Cole brought him down. That was a bullet.
Great quickness again, getting off the bump. This time it's Bryce McCain who can't stay with Jimmy Young. That quickness to get off the bump and run absolutely kills teams that want to come up and press the wide receiver. And Young has done it a number of times tonight, especially on inside slant routes, and Dalton's been right on target.
And Bryce McCain, maybe the fastest Ute ever, a 4.28 40. Christian up the middle. Big play on first down, picks up 8. Mike Wright, who has returned to action after leaving the field earlier this quarter with the stop.
And this is the start of a very methodical drive for TCU. Got good field position after the short Sakota punt. Fine pass that time from Dalton to Young, and now that offensive line giving the quarterback time to throw and opening up some holes for these running backs.
TCU opened the UNLV game with a 17-play, 8-minute drive. Neither team has put together long, sustained drives against these good defenses tonight. Christian with the hurdle, a first down, and down to the 17-yard line.
Let's check out this hole on the right side. Giles Montgomery and Marcus Cannon. Right here is the canyon that Christian is going to leap through. And he's just an eyelash from going all the way. Montgomery 295, Cannon 350, making a huge hole on the right side.
Not quite Edwin Moses, but it'll do. 6th play of the drive coming up for TCU. The jumping isn't working up front to distract the TCU line anymore. Christian took a pop. Very talented redshirt freshman Mo Neal has returned from 2 knee surgeries to see some significant time of late for Utah. And Christian a little banged up. Wants to get a breather.
He's kind of slight for a running back, 5'11", 188 pounds. Got good quickness, good receiver, but he can only take so many shots. You can see how thin the young man is. But he does have our only touchdown of the night so far.
Christian's bounced back and forth between wide receiver and running back. Pretty good at both. Aaron Brown inside the penalty box. Only 3rd and 1.
Not a whole lot of trickery going on now. It's just hard-nosed, smash-mouth football from TCU as they're showing their offensive versatility and the power of this offensive line. 2 tight ends this time. And Brown with a good move at the line of scrimmage goes over 100 yards rushing on the night.
13 carries for Brown is a season high. His first game of the year against SMU after being suspended for the first 3 at 11 carries. 2 scores in the red zone tonight for TCU. Brown, Donald spun his way to a couple that will leave 4th.
Boy, Paul Kruger had a chance to drop him for a loss. It appears that the Utes are tired on defense right now. Brown made 2 miss. Didn't pick up the first down, but this is real makeable field goal range now for Ross Evans.
Ross Evans getting ready to kick to get 3 more points field goal. And we're all literally on the edges of our seats.
A 26-yard attempt for Evans.
It was a chip shot, 26-yarder. And that he could do with his eyes closed. There was no problem.
Whoa! Missed it. Banged it off the upright.
I think everybody looked skyward and thought the football gods are with us.
When that one bounced off the upright and you look around at the surreal scene at the blackout and that, it was just like, okay, something weird's going to happen here.
That north end zone is probably one of the loudest areas in all of college football.
Woo! It was, well, if you ever heard a crowd cheer, that was just enormous.
Would have increased the lead to 7. As it is, Utah gets the ball and a new life with 5:49 to go and down by just 4.
The key thing about it is it kept it a 1-possession game. So, you know, all we needed was a touchdown at the time to go ahead.
Summer of 2004, Brian Johnson slept in Alex Smith's basement. He was told to do everything he does. If that includes going undefeated, he'll need to come up big here in the 4th quarter. Johnson over the middle into double coverage, incomplete. Brian Johnson met with a Hall of Fame quarterback last night, and Dan, you told him if it gets to the 4th quarter, it's your game.
Yeah, and he welcomes that challenge. This is his 30th game as a starter. He's lost only 7 times, winning as quarterback in the history of this program. And that's why everybody's so confident that he can get it done. 80 yards is a big task. He's got a lot of time to do it. He's got 2 timeouts. I wouldn't bet against him.
To throw again on 2nd down. Ball found its way loose, incomplete. Rafael Priest with the coverage.
Well, I'd throw against another corner. I'd find somebody else to throw against. Priest has knocked down about 5 passes tonight. A couple of long balls, and that one a very difficult slant route for a corner to defend. Did a super job. Johnson's gotten cold, though, in this chilly evening, Tom. He's missed his last 6 passes.
Guys up front get the credit for TCU. The guys in the back making it work tonight. Priest and Sanders specifically. And Asiata is the running back. Off the right shoulder of Brian Johnson. 3rd and 10. Plenty of time. Coverage by Sanders. So Sakota back out there. Had an 81-yard punt earlier this season. Jeremy Curley not likely to return this one. He'll just want a fair catch. That one, a horrible punt from Sakota. Off the side of his foot. TCU will have fantastic field position. Aaron Brown. Paul Kruger with the stop.
Now this will be a very slow moving offense now for TCU. They're going to take that play clock down inside of 10 seconds, close to 5 seconds with each snap now. because the clock is their enemy. They've got great field position. If they don't gain another yard, they can still pin back Utah deep in their own end of the field.
TCU is off next week. They're 5 minutes and 4 quarters away from possibly playing in a BCS Bowl. Dalton over the middle. Jimmy Young has it for a first down for TCU. Christian inside the 20. Naifotu with the stop.
Yeah, it looked like Utah knew this play was coming too. They started to cheat to the left side. Watch the defense coming this way, and the fine cutback and patience by Christian. He sees the hole but makes another cut and picks up good 5, almost 6 yards on a play that looked like there was nothing there initially.
Giles Montgomery, the right guard, making his 24th straight start at that position tonight for TCU. Christian bottled up, brought down, no gain. Ross Evans missed his last field goal attempt, may have an opportunity for another here as the clock runs under 3:30 to go in the 4th quarter.
And now it's going to be decision time for Kyle Whittingham as to when he uses his 2 timeouts that he has remaining. A field goal, of course, would make it still a 1-possession game. That's what the Utes were able to force last time TCU was here.
3rd and 5. Watts is in the backfield with Brown. Dalton waves Bryant. Dalton has time to the end zone. Overthrew Walter Bryant.
So another field goal try here now for Ross Evans.
I thought the game was probably over. I mean, Evans missed one a series ago or whatever, and he thought, okay, this is the one he's going to make. He'll make up for it.
He's got now a 35, 37-yard field goal. He's going to make it, and now it's going to be 13-6, which means the best we can do is tie.
I remember on those field goals that we had installed a specific, blitz to kind of get him off his, his comfort level.
I think sometimes as a young kicker, you let your mind play games with you a little bit. And I think with Ross Evans, even though he made a field goal early in the game, that one he missed off the left upright in the 4th quarter affected his second kick.
To make it a 7-point game.
Missed it right.
When he missed it, I just thought, my gosh, in fact, my call was he missed again.
It was one of the great moments in Utah college football history to see a kicker who was that good as Ross Evans miss a chip shot and keep Utah into the ball game with a possibility to win it and a possibility to achieve what they wanted that year was a BCS Bowl.
That's why it's tough. I know that Evans has had a great year, but remember, he's an 18-year-old freshman kicking in a huge game. It appears after he kicked the ball, he knew it was right. His head stayed down, hoping it would draw to the middle of the uprights. Not so.
Basically, all we've built this whole season is coming down to this last drive.
When our offense took the field with 2 minutes and 48 seconds left, the feeling was extreme confidence.
One of Brian Johnson's strengths was the 2-minute offense. And this is a chance for him to call the plays.
No team in the country at that point practiced 2-minute more than us, so we felt completely in our comfort zone.
Is a missed field goal enough to give momentum to an offense and confidence?
Well, they have no choice, I mean, I'm sure they're confident in their plan. Right now, they've just got to hang on to the ball. That's the first completion for Johnson in a long time.
And this second completion now, the second straight, goes for a first down.
That's the key. First down, stop the clock. He got out of bounds anyway, but now they're out to the 31-yard line. Remember, they're down by 4. They need a touchdown.
Utah has pulled out a handful of close games already this season. A 25-23 win at the Big House to open the year. Johnson Utah. And into TCU territory goes Brent Castile.
That play was extremely critical in the game. Utah had finally found a way to break through TCU's defense. They found a seam that they could get through, and it gave them confidence for the rest of the drive.
Both Freddie Brown and Brent Castile were seniors, and they had played a lot of football for us. We had a ton of chemistry. I threw it a little high because I had to kind of get it over a defensive lineman, so he was able to jump up, make a play on it, and run for a little bit after the catch and get us past midfield.
Johnson flushed. Corks one deep. Knocked away. Flag on the play. Nick Sanders has had a tremendous game for TCU. This time he gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
The corner was beat, so he turned his back. So I kind of threw a flat, kind of a back shoulder throw to where our receiver would have to stop and kind of create the contact.
There were a lot of calls like that could have gone either way, let it go or call it, and it came at a critical time for Utah, obviously, and I think it just added to the charm and the magic that was going on in the stadium that night.
Johnson, pressure, got away! Incomplete.
Got away from Cody Moore. Cody Moore cannot believe that he didn't bring Johnson down for another sack tonight.
Brian Johnson was basically unrecruited out of Robert E. Lee High School in Baytown, Texas. Didn't play until his senior year. Now he's the winningest quarterback in Utah history. Can this be his signature win? He's got 22 victories under his belt, but boy, if number 23 comes here tonight, he'd cement his legacy, wouldn't he?
No question about that. I like that play, too. Pick up positive yards, get that good feeling going for the offense and that offensive line.
3rd and 5, deep to the end zone, incomplete.
Oh, would you want to have that one back, Brian Johnson?
Before the 4th and 5 play, you know, we had a 3rd down. We tried to throw a corner to Brent Castile, and I overthrew it in the end zone. We had the guy beat, and I was a little disappointed in myself, but I knew we still had one more down.
When it was 4th and 5, here's a shot that they might not. They could try for a field goal and make it 9-10, or they could go for it 4th and 5.
Playing TCU previous 4 years, anytime it was a pressure situation when the game was on the line, we had a pretty good feeling that Coach Patterson would call a cover 0 blitz. We knew he was going to bring the pressure, so I slid the line. Angle dropped, and the defender was right in my face. He came with both his hands up.
Over the middle. 1st down. Freddie Brown.
The defensive end was bearing down on Brian, and I thought, oh no, he's going to get sacked. But somehow we managed to throw around the outstretched arms of the defensive end and put it right on the money. And like, you know, to this day, I still don't know how we made that throw.
Into coverage, complete, timeout available. Again, it's Godfrey.
I don't think you worry about using the clock yet. You got a minute to go in the ball game. You certainly don't want to give TCU any time on the clock if they get the ball back after you score.
Johnson trying to engineer a go-ahead drive here in the 4th.
Pre-snap, I knew we had exactly what we wanted coverage-wise, and you know, as soon as the ball left my hand, it felt good. I knew.
On the slant, touchdown, Utah. Freddie Brown.
I remember just kind of doing a little fist pump and turning back to the sideline, looking at my teammates, and we were extremely excited.
Everybody's going crazy. Everybody's rushing the field.
This is a well-built stadium. This press box is shaking right now.
The wave of sound came up on top of us, and you could feel it physically up in the booth, this explosion of euphoria from the fans.
The electricity in the stadium as everybody in black, in mass. It looked like a mass of moss just creeping up out of the seats as everybody stood up, and the tremendous deafening roar as Utah took their first lead in the ball game.
It's a 3-point game with 47 seconds left on the clock.
Good pass protection again, good quick delivery, slant route. 9 catches for Freddie Brown tonight, 105 yards, and perhaps the biggest touchdown reception in the history of this football program.
The headline said biggest game ever. Biggest catch ever, biggest throw ever.
But what will the headline say tomorrow? biggest win ever.
Ross Evans needs to keep his head up. He may just have another shot.
The amazing thing is Utah goes that 80 yards, Tom. They didn't use any timeouts. TCU still has their 2 timeouts to work with.
Utes needed just 9 plays to cover 80 yards. Freddie Brown with a touchdown grab to give Utah its first lead of the game with 47 seconds left. Roman puts it in the air. From the 3 to the 20. Aaron Brown tripped up at the 20.
Reaction from the fans was this sense of euphoria that, wow, we're in front. But then there's like 45 some seconds left. You just wonder, can they hang on here? The game wasn't over.
We knew it wasn't over because all they had to have was a field goal to put it in overtime. And so once we scored, we still had some work to do.
Deshaun Richard tripped him up, but the big misses today for TCU have come from special teams. The first attempt boinked off the left upright. Trying to compensate perhaps, Ross Evans, a freshman kicker, pushed the second one right. Utah answered with the go-ahead drive. Now Dalton to the sidelines. Quick shot and out of bounds goes Young. 36 seconds remaining on that first down grab.
Move the chains, get the word from the sidelines. But if I'm Utah, I'm double covering Jimmy Young. He's the difference maker for this passing attack of Andy Dalton.
TCU has only played in 1 close game this season. That was October 11th in their offensive struggles at Colorado State. Dalton in trouble. Complete. Antoine Hicks with his first grab of the night, and he picked a perfect time to show up for TCU.
The true freshman making a catch, just his 5th all season. But what about the job of extending the play by Dalton? Makes 2 guys jump up in the air and finds the freshman down the sidelines. Now you got to start thinking about range for Ross Evans. He's got a long this season of 50 yards. So to get to that point, they got to move this ball about 17, 18 yards.
And Ross Evans needs to clear his head after 2 misses. Dalton. Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage by Koamisi. 22 seconds remain.
You know, if they do get Evans in range, check out the tip play by Koamisi, 41, working there at the line of scrimmage. Good play working against Marcus Cannon. Couldn't get to the quarterback, but frustrates the quarterback by knocking that ball down. But the point I want to make about a long field goal is it's easier than kicking a short field goal because it's so far. You're not thinking about accuracy, you're thinking about distance.
See if Evans gets that chance. Bobbled, incomplete. Smith had the coverage on Young.
Drop pass by Jimmy Young. Smith had nothing to do with that breakup. That was just a drop. That's all you can say about that. And that's a huge drop. 8 of 18 coming up now. 3rd down conversions for Dalton.
Coming into the game, TCU 6th best in the nation on 3rd down. Their young quarterback, a big reason why. And the redshirt sophomore, Andy Dalton, will work out of the shotgun. Batted away again, almost picked. Stevenson Sylvester had a chance to seal the game.
Derek Shelby with the deflection there. And won't that could come back to haunt Utah as TCU will have 1 more play to pick up a 1st down. Remember, they got 2 timeouts. They can throw the ball to any point on the field.
College football fans know that they saw a similar play in Texas versus Texas Tech. The Red Raiders came back to win that one. 11 seconds to go. down the sideline. This one is picked up. Utah will go to 10-0.
TCU on that final drive had a decent possession. They drove down the field, and I remember Utah made some nice plays. There were like 3 pass breakups.
And one of the great defenders, we talk about Sean Smith, who was drafted. Robert Johnson was also drafted. And when Robert comes up with the interception, it stops TCU's drive.
Robert Johnson with his first interception of the season.
Well, this is just a poor decision by a guy who's been making a lot of good decisions, trying to get the ball deep when he really didn't have to. Just wanting to get his field goal kicker in range to tie this one up. And Robert Johnson with his first interception of the year.
The pursuit of perfection continues for the Utes, and Brian Johnson just gave somebody a souvenir.
I get chills even thinking about it. Everybody was going insane. You know, they rushed the field, tore down the goalposts. I mean, it was off the charts.
It was the jumping, the joyous, the hugging, the tears. We're all getting ready to maybe storm the field if we could. They try to have us not do that, but it's been known to happen.
It took Utah all night long to get a touchdown, didn't it, Tom? And they finally did on their last drive, going 80 yards. Led by their great senior quarterback, Brian Johnson. Man, what a job.
For us to be 10-0 at that point, and now that we had 2 games left in order to finish an undefeated season, was something that was very special. To win it in that fashion in front of our home crowd was something that I think everybody on that team really cherished, and it's a moment that I don't think anyone will forget.
Well, the locker room was complete elation. I mean, everybody was celebrating, and you can't explain that. You have to experience it, be in that locker room, be under those circumstances to really appreciate it.
Utah's win over TCU in 2008 is, I think, without question, the greatest home win in Utah football history.
Beating TCU to set the scene to go completely undefeated in 2008. Not only go to a BCS bowl game, but the Sugar Bowl, and beat Alabama.
I didn't realize how important it's been to go undefeated until, you know, I get a little older. I'm starting to appreciate more and more the type of team we had, the type of legacy that we left and that we built, and I feel really honored to be a part of that team.